Hey bestie, welcome to class. You made it just in time. Because today I have the most important lesson that you will ever take on manifestation as well as entrepreneurship. And the first all-important rule that I need to share with you that will immediately get you into the space of manifesting the life of your desires is that finished is always better than perfect. My gorgeous queens and jelly beans, finished is always better than perfect. Let me tell you why, sis. Think about the graveyard of ideas you had but never followed through on. What about that YouTube channel, the podcast, the business idea that you had, the coaching business and website that you just didn't get around to yet? Now, because you were so focused on doing your absolute best, because you wanted to make things perfect, or perhaps you're a Virgo. Okay, all astrology jokes aside, because you put so much pressure on yourself, you never got round to completing it, whether it's learning a new language, going to that Pilates class, or finally booking in a spa day for yourself. And because I love all of my besties here on the internet. I love every single one of you gorgeous psychic CEOs. I could not continue to live with myself without finally creating this video that will show you how the top 1% of women navigate the space of manifestation and getting things done and completing projects. So in today's class, we are going to be doing a lot of healing, but also self-reflection with one another. So feel free to put this on podcast style. I know that you love to listen to my videos on the go as well. And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about procrastination as well as finishing projects. Now, the whole entire realm of perfection that we see on the internet is what keeps so many of us from ever even starting. Because we have this pursuit of perfection when it comes to modern beauty standards, building businesses, or even our creative ventures, and everything that we see on the internet is curated to look absolutely perfect. It is so daunting to put yourself out there, and it's understandable. I feel the same way sometimes still every single day, and it is important for you to remind yourself that every single person that you see on the internet that is putting out this picture perfect content, they too have fears of their videos not performing well. They too ask themselves whether they look good from this angle, whether the lighting is flattering or not. The only difference between them and the fact that their bank accounts continue to grow because they actually put themselves out there, and you, who is still stuck within the pattern that you're about to break out of overthinking perfection before actually putting your content out into the world, putting your world and your business out for people to find it and to work with you, is that they have overcome the fear. They have overcome the feeling of anxiety. They have found a way in which they can still put themselves out there, even though they too struggle with the pursuit of perfection. And this is how I see it. On one end of the spectrum, we have expectations. So that is what society expects of us. Expectation. Every single one of us gorgeous ladies feels as though the society that we live in has some sort of expectation, whether that is you being beautiful on the external plane, or thin or curvaceous, or having long hair, big lips, full lashes, big eyes, perhaps a smile, a beautiful aura. Maybe you feel as though the expectation is for you to become a mother, for you to get married, for you to pedestalize men and revolve your life around them. Maybe you feel as though the expectation that you have to meet is being very intelligent or very educated. So that is one end of the spectrum, one part of the diagram that we're dealing with. And then on the other hand, over here, all of my beautiful, ambitious ladies, we have ambition, meaning we do truly want to do our best, even if this is not rooted in a place of trying to meet a specific expectation. You have the ambition in yourself to put out the best possible work, to be the most amazing version of yourself that you can be, and to create meaningful content and something that can help others. And you also have your own image that you want to uphold. You may want to seem as someone who is serious when it comes to their business. If you're, for example, a coach or an aspiring coach, perhaps you want to actually appeal to the male or female gaze. If you're an artist, if you do music, maybe you also want to seem like you are someone trustworthy if you're working in the health and wellness space, because you want for your clients and customers to trust you enough to actually come to you for healing, for tarot readings, for yoga, for Reiki, for therapy, for any type of treatments that you're doing. Perhaps you are also working a job such as being a nurse or a teacher. So your ambition is to be the best possible nurse or teacher that you can be. No matter your situation, what this causes here is our pursuit of perfection. And the sad part of the eternal pursuit of perfection, which is why I'm actually going to put a little eternity symbol here, which is a 8 turned onto its side, is that it is instilled in a lot of us women especially. Of course, there is a pursuit of male perfection, which is often rooted in attaining more material items, more social status, more power, and in a sense also more money. However, for women, our pursuit of perfection has often already been instilled in us from a very early age, and it was definitely indoctrinated within our minds through, for example, Disney movies and so on. And the difference of our pursuit of perfection is that it encompasses a lot of unattainable beauty standards as well. It causes a lot of us to feel stifled to even show our faces. That's right, our faces and our bodies. If you don't fit the standard of beauty, you may have felt that before as well, that you have an amazing message to share. You have an amazing business that you've built. You have product that you want the world to know of. But before you even want to film that reel, that TikTok, that YouTube video, or email your mailing list to show them your offer, it's like you give up. It's like because you know that you're nowhere near the standard of beauty or near the perfection that you think that you should have attained by now. The world never even gets to see what you're made of because you are eternally stuck in this pursuit of something that doesn't exist. Because let's remember, my beautiful ladies, perfection is something that does not exist and that has held a lot of us, as well as our mothers and great-grandmothers, back from becoming everything that they could be. However, now we do live in a day and age where we can overcome certain parts of this pursuit of perfection by taking away the pedestalization of beauty and perfection, and instead valuing our authenticity and truly understanding and believing that there is an audience out here that's just like us, that's going to resonate with exactly what you have to say and what you have to share. So with myself eternally identifying as a girl's girl and having built my own successful businesses online and offline, while also observing my male counterparts and their behavioral patterns, I want to instill in you that progress and completion is always better than perfection. And in order to truly get you to the next level when it comes to your manifestations, creating your dream life and your dream business, you not only have to understand this, but you have to take actionable steps to overcoming the pursuit of something that doesn't exist, like we literally just uncovered together. And I will show you exactly how to do this. So what I will do is I will show you how to perfectly align manifestation with strategy so you can overcome this feeling of needing to be perfect, because I do believe that when it comes to business and entrepreneurship, I think a lot of us girlies stifle ourselves by overthinking and pursuing wanting everything to be perfect before acting. I know a lot of men do this as well, but men are usually better at practicing their divine masculine energy, which is the energy of just doing, just putting it out there. Whereas women often rest a little too long within our divine feminine energy, which means that we are daydreaming, we're thinking about the future, we are extremely creative, and we're able to hold a lot of ideas. But when we don't act on them, they stay just that, figments of our imagination and ideas. But we're going to change that today. Because one thing that I've learned from my mentors is that completion, even if not flawless, will always be far more valuable than perfection ever could be, because perfection rarely even reaches the stage of completion ever. And what you want to do in order to become the top 1% of ladies out here is you want to make sure, number one, that you cultivate desire. Cultivate. Now, what do I mean by cultivating desire? I mean, I want you to think about what it is that you actually desire. Do you want fame? Do you want a thriving coaching business, a thriving online store? Do you want a YouTube channel that organically takes off and grows? Do you just want to be the best mother or partner that you can be? I want you to think of precisely what it is that you want, and there's no judgment here on this channel. You should choose whatever life feels the most authentic to you, because we're all here to fulfill different paths. My path happens to be this one right here. Your path may be completely different, or you may even see yourself in what I'm doing, and you may even find a connection in wanting to do the same. Now, cultivating your desire means that you actually ask yourself. When I mentor my ladies in Psychic CEO, this is one of the questions that is the most simple but most impactful. And the question is, why do you want this desire? Because often we think that we want something, but we don't actually know why. We've never actually thought about the root of our desire. And when you've never really thought about the root of your desire, it may be that you don't even want it because you want it. You want it because, well, that was part of the expectation. Remember what we looked at within our diagram previously. The expectation for you is to want a family. The expectation for you is to just work a 9 to 5 and not think too big. The expectation is perhaps, you should want to be this person because that's what's socially accepted. But perhaps you also want something for status. Perhaps you want to be really wealthy because you want others to see that you are intelligent, that you are driven, that you're not lazy, and that you're capable of so much more than your bullies ever allowed you to feel capable of. As you're noticing, there's so many different reasons as to why you may have the desire that you've got. None are right or wrong, they all just are. But once you've kind of figured out why your desire is here, then you will also understand. So make it abundantly clear whether your desire to actually attain this thing is strong enough to make it a reality, or whether you're just wasting your time. For example, if you want to make a lot of money because you want a certain vehicle, or you want to buy certain clothes, or live in a certain area, and there is no deeper meaning as to why other than the fact that you maybe want to impress other people, that is not a strong enough burning desire for you to bring that manifestation to fruition, because the work and ambition and dedication that it will take for you to break through your current patterns to becoming the person that attains all of this wealth that you desire will take a lot of transformation from you that is not going to be possible just because you want to impress other people, or at least the likelihood is really, really small. So it is important that your why for your desire is really strong. So a strong why. A strong why could be, for example, because you want to help out your family, financially speaking. Maybe you want to be really well known and you want your art to blow up because you want to inspire others to be strong. You want to give others permission, others who look like you, who come from the same background that you come from, others who have had the same struggles you have had. Perhaps your why is that you want to give them a voice. You want to give them permission to be themselves because no one ever gave you permission to be yourself. So when you have a very strong why, such as this one, maybe it's teaching people how to be confident, teaching people how to heal their bodies. Perhaps your why for your desire to have a successful business is because you want to show that it is possible to be independent, but at the same time rooted in true morals that you can be proud of, and that people who look like you of the same gender, of the same ethnicity, of the same sensual preference, such as you have, are able to do all of these things that everyone always told them they could never accomplish. Perhaps you want to be the pioneer. And I want you to know here that a very strong why is the foundation of every type of manifestation. Once you've got the very strong why down, everything from there on out will be much easier. But you have to be really real with yourself, because you may have different manifestations and realize, oh, okay, the one of the dream body, I need to give that up because that's just for external validation. And actually, I don't really want to give up cake and ice cream and these simple little pleasures just to fit into a clothing size to impress people who don't even care about me or don't even know me. Perhaps you're going to give up the why of trying to impress your family, and you're going to say to yourself, you know what? Actually, I don't want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or a teacher. Actually, what I want to do is I want to make music. I want to be an artist. I want to be a yoga teacher. I want to be a YouTuber. I want a world-class podcast. And you will realize what whys are built on shaky grounds and which ones are rooted from a place where you will have enough drive and energy to bring these manifestations to fruition. Step number 2 to your manifesting magic is that you are going to want to assuming to be your desire. That means you are going to feel as though you are already that which you desire to be. The only way that you can become something that you're not is to believe that you are more than you are. And this takes some internal work. And why I'm speaking from a woman's perspective is because that is the only perspective I personally can speak from. And those are the clients, the people that I work with. I want you to know a lot of us, we actually do not feel as though we deserve that which we desire to attain and to have in our lives. A lot of us don't feel like we deserve that partner that truly loves us, that's there for us, that treats us with kindness rather than with this kind of messed up narcissistic vibe and mentality. A lot of us feel somewhere deeply within us, whether that's through father wounds, brother wounds, or any type of childhood trauma, that actually maybe we don't deserve the picture perfect husband, the picture perfect partner, whether that's male or female. I mean, I don't judge on this channel. What I'm trying to say by that is the fact that you have to really be able to feel that which you desire to already be and to deserve it. If you don't feel like you deserve your dream home, your dream car, your dream business, your dream employees, your dream clients as well, and the dream amount of money that you're making, whether it's high ticket sales or you've got your own skincare line and it's selling out all over the world, or you have a podcast, a YouTube channel that's just going so well, you have to believe that you deserve that in order for that to ever come to fruition, in order to ever engage in enough completion to make it out here. And I want you to look at some of the people who are really, really successful at what they do, whether it's podcasters, YouTubers, whether it's authors, or any other creatives. They believe in themselves. They believe that they deserve these things. Take rappers, for example, or the R&B genre, even pop as well. Oftentimes these artists, they are broke. They're sleeping on the couch. They have not had their breakthrough. But listen into some of their songs that they got famous with and how they're singing about, sitting in Lambos, pulling up in their Bentleys with $100K in their pocket. I'm thinking of the Over Now song from Post Malone. I love those earlier albums by him. And a lot of these stars, now stars, they started off believing to be that which they desired to be. They started off believing that they deserved it, that they would attain it, and sure enough, they got it. Because change and manifestation is an internal job. Remember, creation is already finished, my beautiful soul. Everything that is possible already exists. It's already out here. But the version that you desire in the quantum field, the version of you that already exists in this endless field called the quantum field, which is a field of infinite possibility. So it's not the 3D, it's the 4D. Your version of yourself, dream you, already exists, but this is about accessing dream you. And without trying to get too spiritual woo-woo, because I always want you to know that this is a very grounded approach to take to manifestation that will give you real results is the fact that you have to understand you must truly feel like you deserve to be that version of you, to take action and energetically be in the same wavelength as dream you, as the version of you that you're trying to become, because only in that way will you slowly but surely go from, the person that you are right now. So I'll just put person A. That is the only way you will get to version B of yourself. You have to energetically put yourself onto the same frequency as B, because you know how to behave to be person A. Your behaviors, your habits, your patterns that you have had across the past weeks and months, they have created your current reality. But in order to become someone new, you have to actually behave differently, and you have to think differently of yourself, because your thoughts create your personal reality. And when you think different thoughts about yourself, your business, and the way that you want to behave, you will behave differently automatically. No work needed. It will just happen like that. All right, so upgrade your thoughts, my gorgeous soul, to a upgraded version and reality of yourself. It's really that simple. And then my third point, when it comes to creating this manifestation magic and overcoming this perfectionism, stepping into the top 1% of actually getting things done, not leaving things unfinished, is for f***'s sakes, girl. Have some audacity, okay? So number 3, and I'll write it all caps. Have some audacity. Stop making yourself smaller to fit into a box that you were never meant to fit in. You are standing out because you were meant to stand out and you were meant to shine. You are different from your friends and your family because you were meant to be the one to break the generational patterns and curses of mediocrity or never actually living your dreams. Have some audacity when it comes to putting your business out there. Have audacity to stand in front of the camera and be like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is my opinion. Because let me tell you one thing, it is far more fun to have a following that actually loves you, that is like a hot pot of matcha for you rather than a lukewarm iced tea. All right? So it is far better to have people who are raving fans, who are almost like cult-like followers. They show up with you. They are part of your membership. They are part of your business. They do one-on-one mentorships with you. They buy from you. They follow every single step that you take. It is far better to have 1,000 loyal people that really vibe with you and your opinion, that you can work with, you can help, where when you want to actually put something out there, you're not overthinking whether it's perfect or not, because you know that by not sharing with the world, by not sharing your talents, you are actually depriving those 1,000 raving fans of a solution that they really needed from you. Support and inspiration that could have potentially changed the course of their life. It is way better to have 1,000 people like that than 100,000 people who are following you but feel lukewarm about you, who are following you but don't really know you because you never care to share your opinion, you never care to show your personality, you never care to say, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and this is what I believe in. And that is going to make you feel as though you are lacking connection. In this day and age, in this social media vibe and age, if you lack audacity, you lack connection, because you're not going to spark any type of human emotion in anyone, which means that if you have an online business or you're aspiring to build your own business, nobody is going to buy from you, whether online or offline. Nobody is really going to want to follow you unless you're providing value that is just practical to them, but they like the value, they don't like you. So in order to build a strong following, in order to get to this place where you're not overthinking the doing, you're not striving for perfection, but you're just striving for completion, is to build this audacity within you of knowing, like, what I'm putting out is good enough. What I'm creating, these people are going to really love. They've asked for it. They want it. And then slowly but surely, you will build an audience that also stays with you for a really long time. And then you don't have to struggle to make sales. You don't have to struggle to build a business. You don't have to struggle to feel empowered to share any of your talents or yourself, or to start that channel or that podcast, because you know, okay, I may have only 100 people listening in, But those 100 people, they will write comments, they will share it, they will love it, and they will take so much value from this. It was literally like that when I started my tarot channel here on YouTube at the very beginning. I had like 0 views, 20 views, 100 views on my videos, on my very first videos, but the comments were so emotionally charged that I knew I hit a nerve, and this was my space. I had to make myself known in this space. I had to continue to build in this space because this is what I'm meant to do. Because clearly, if I can touch people in a way that inspires them and encourages them to be themselves, to be strong, to feel confident in themselves through tarot, astrology, whatever the method of delivery may be, then I have to continue on, because the emotion is what makes the change. The emotion is what is then going to go from a small business to a big business, from one client or no clients to a business where you literally have more clients than you even know what to do with. So literally even doubling your business is something that can happen like that overnight. Say you offer coaching, some sort of classes, perhaps you've got an online course, and you want to actually also live your life. You don't want to just be stuck at home having to try to get clients and basically like be in this hamster wheel of constantly trying to get new people on and never quite living in the abundance that you know that you deserve. Have audacity. If you have something of value, if you have either studied this, you have a lot of success in what it is that you've done, charge for it. There are so many people here on YouTube, coaches. I've seen one coach that literally has like a almost $400,000 VIP day. Can you believe that? A $400,000 VIP day. I think his name is Myron Golden. It is like a private jet VIP day where he will literally fly out with a client on a private jet, $400,000, but it is to him like an anyway offer, he describes it, which means he was going to go on the private jet from point A to B anyways, but what he's now done is that he has turned it into an offer. He has turned it into a mentorship opportunity. So from having to go anyways on that jet, he is now making what? Over $300,000, because how much is that jet really going to cost for the day? Taking a client on it, teaching someone precisely how they can go from zero to hero, and the audacity to charge that much money for it. But guess what? He has sold so many of those private VIP days just by audacity. If he would not have had the audacity to say, you know what? I have been doing this for 30 years or however many decades or years he has been doing this, if he wouldn't have said my expertise is worth that much because I actually change people's lives, I actually take people's businesses from struggling to being abundant. Imagine if your business makes 50 or 100,000 per year, and through the help of an amazing mentor or an amazing program, a mindset shift, all of a sudden you are doing high 6 figures every year. You're doing $1 million, $1.5 million. A lot of businesses get to this point. Imagine if you go from struggling to that point by investing into a coach, a mentor, a program, and you keep making that not just the first year that you've invested in it, but the next year and the year thereafter that. So if you have something to offer someone, even if that is you being a health coach, a nutritionist, a teacher, even if you don't see it in the dollar sign type of value, you helping someone being healthier means that they will be a better mother, a better business owner, they will be a better person to be around overall, a better friend, a better associate, a better individual who can move mountains in this world. And I want you, all of you who are watching this, who are struggling with their own business right now, I want all of you to have the audacity to first and foremost scream from the rooftops what you have to offer, to make it clear, to say, my offer is amazing, I have a lot of experience in what I do, and this is how much I charge for it. And if it's a premium, it's a premium. Because what I have noticed with a lot of my mentees is that the simple tweak of creating more financial abundance is actually to just make the offer more expensive. A lot of my mentees, they're like, well, how can I do it? What's the tweak? What's the secret sauce? And I'm like, babe, there's no secret sauce. You are selling yourself under your value. You are selling yourself. You are literally a diamond trying to place yourself into Claire's when you belong in Tiffany's. Why are you doing this? Literally, charge what you need to charge. The people who see the value in you and your teachings, they're going to pay that, and they're going to want even more. They're going to pay that, and if the value that you're offering is so amazing, they will think to themselves, okay, how can I get the next offer? How can I be in even closer proximity? How can I come even more often to this offer? How can I make the most of it? The people who want everything for free, the people who do not appreciate your audacity, and they want you to basically give yourself away at a negative energy point, because that's what it's doing to you. It's sucking you energetically so dry to have to be in this hamster wheel of overworking yourself and never making ends meet, it seems. The people who are buying you at the lowest possible price, basically, they are not an energetic match for abundance themselves. And you have to quit catering to these people in order to ever level up. You have to quit catering to this type of energetic frequency, because what it's going to do is not only suck you dry of energy, but it is going to reinforce in you that you're not worth what you would desire or what you actually truly are. And also, this type of clientele usually comes with a lot more issues than the ones that see the value and are happy to pay. But you have to become someone who is happy to pay themselves. So pay your bills on time. Even if you don't have the funds, trust that through learning these techniques, trust that through upgrading yourself, you will be in a position like many others to pay your bills with ease. Pay them happily, pay them with ease. Thank the universe, God, your angels, whatever it is that you believe or don't believe in. Thank that higher force for giving you the ability to have a roof over your head if you're paying your rent and you're like, oh, I don't want to pay this, or your mortgage. Thank the higher power for having food to eat, for having nutritious food to put in your fridge when you're at the checkout of the grocery till and you're like, this is so much money for this food. Remember, that is how you fuel yourself. That is how you create value and abundance. So give thanks, become a happy payer, and you too will attract people who are happy to pay you. But it begins with you. So you have to make sure that you have the audacity to not just you yourself value what you have to offer, but also have the audacity to be a happy payer ahead of time. So even if you feel like you're not yet as financially abundant and free as you want to be, pay happily anyways. And watch how some major shifts all of a sudden begin to take place when you change that mindset of yours. So I'm now going to share with you 5 common manifestation mistakes that I want you to avoid at all costs, because these are just keeping you stagnant on your journey to abundance. Number 1 is lack of clarity and intention. So number 1, lack of. Now, why this is such a common manifestation mistake is not necessarily because people don't know what they want, but it's because they fail to actually go even deeper into detail about what they want. So for example, you may want a successful business. Okay, but what does that mean? Does that mean a $1 billion business just run by you? Would you like 5 employees, 50, 500? Do you want a warehouse? Is it an e-commerce business? Is it you being on social media, a socialite? Is it you developing some sort of product, the next iPhone, the next face mask, the next whatever it is that you're into? What is this success? Or for example, the lack of clarity being in you wanting to be healthy. Okay, what does that look like? Do you work out? Do you change your diet? Being very specific and intentional about your manifestations is an absolute necessity for you to even know what you're working towards. Because I have experienced this so much with people who are just getting started on manifestation, self-development, all of these things, like unifying entrepreneurship and being grounded, but also having a spiritual side to them. Making that unification can sometimes be even more challenging than if you're just very spiritual or you're just into entrepreneurship, because that kind of, intersectionality is rare And it's something that isn't discussed very often. When you're very spiritual, you're woo-woo. When you're very entrepreneurial, you are very black and white, so to say. And what I want to enable you to do and give you permission to do, just as I have had so many amazing teachers do for me, whether it's Neville Goddard or, for example, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, all of these really well-known individuals. Also the magic of thinking big, David Schwartz, love that. And one of the things that I want you to know is being spiritual doesn't mean being broke. Rhonda Byrne talked about this within The Secret. You are supposed to have abundance in every area of your life. The material realm is just as much of a human experience as the spiritual realm. The material realm is just as much here for you to enjoy as everything else. And I think it's about time that people stop demonizing wanting to be a kick-ass businesswoman, as well as also having a spiritual side, also believing in energies, also listening to your intuition and the cyclical nature of your body, working with it rather than against it, showing it off rather than having to hide that part of yourself. Now, this is going to sound highly controversial, as the second point here in the 5 common manifestation mistakes that I want you to avoid making is the positive thinking trap. What I do also observe a lot in this space is lack of action and accountability, right? This is why I think a community is so important. This is why I have developed my community, my membership, because you need a space with other like-minded, driven individuals sometimes to hold you accountable, a space where you have all of the tools and there is no reason for you to not be successful. There is no reason for you to not take action, especially when you have the encouragement, you have the mentorship, and you have all of the formulas that you need to get there. And sometimes this positive thinking also stems from a lack of investment. So you have not made it an absolute must for you to finish something. Let me give you an example. When I did my yoga teacher training, I got my yoga teacher training from a very well-known yogi, or shall I say yogini, that I found through Instagram, that I found through, at the time, it was the Aloe Moves platform. So I didn't know if I wanted to share who it was, but all right, Yoga by Briani, or Bri. Bri is an amazing yoga teacher. I did my yoga teacher certification with her, my yoga teacher training. And I invested in this as COVID began because you were not able to go out or do anything. And yet I wanted to invest in my education, in my health, and in my well-being. So I invested in this yoga teacher training, which was expensive. It cost thousands and thousands of dollars. And the quality was outstanding. What I'm trying to make as an example here is if she would have priced her yoga teacher training, let's say at $500 with 5 monthly installments instead of, say, $5,000 with 5 monthly installments of $1,000 each, instead of, if her course was priced, her yoga teacher training was priced at a total of $500 and she only charged $100 per month. Which course do you think I would have been more likely to hold myself accountable on? And which course do you think I would have been more likely to complete? The one that cost me the quote-unquote painful $5,000 with a recurring payment of $1,000 every single month? Or do you think I would have been more likely to finish this 250 lesson plus training when I only pay $100 per month? That doesn't really hurt me as much as $1,000 per month. And on top of that, what she did extremely well, and I'm not sure whether this is just a rule within these yoga teacher trainings, but there was also a time limit on this, which meant that I think you had about 1.5 years or 2 years to complete this intensive training, which now sounds like a long time, but trust me, when you're doing yoga for hours and hours every single day, and it's taking weeks in order to get through the course curriculum, taking a couple weeks in between of a break, it just happens when you're taking it online and your body is tired and so on and so forth, but that's not what we're speaking of here, the time pressure, right? So rather than being in this positive thinking trap of like, oh yeah, I'll get it done, I'll do it at some point. No, you put the pressure onto yourself, you invest in yourself, you make it an absolute must, whether that be through a deadline or having invested heavily into it. And guess what? That made me actually get the result that I wanted. The result that I wanted was to be a certified yoga teacher. I got my certification because rather than relying on just positive thinking and, oh, I'll get it done, I created a type of environment and pressure and used that community, the live calls and so on, in order to get what I wanted. And it cost me $5,000, which I way more happily have paid that. And I feel good about my accomplishment. I feel good about supporting a yoga teacher that has created an amazing course rather than having spent $500. And I know I probably would not have completed it. And I would feel a little part of my self-confidence have basically left my body because I took this on and I didn't complete it. Because every time you just rely on the positive thinking trap, you are actually failing to be disciplined. And whenever you are not disciplined, you are basically reflecting onto yourself the belief that, oh, I don't think I'm worthy of this discipline. I don't think I'm worthy of completing this training. I don't think my money is worthy of the respect that I invested into this training. I don't think that I am worthy enough of the discipline to work out regularly and eat healthily. It's basically you affirming to yourself that you're not worthy, and guess what? That chips away at your self-confidence slowly but surely over time. So get out of this positive thinking loop of not actually getting anything done. All right, so this video is turning out to be a lot longer than I ever anticipated, but we'll just go with it because I feel like you guys are getting a lot of value that you're going to love. Now, the third mistake that I want you to avoid at all costs is the attachment to a specific outcome. So I will just write attachment. Whenever you are attached to a very specific outcome, that rules out other positive outcomes that you may have. Let me give you an example. If you are attached to the outcome of needing to have your YouTube channel take off, meanwhile, perhaps you would be better as a podcaster, perhaps you are a lot stronger with the Instagram algorithm. You being attached to this means that you are not seeing the other possibility that perhaps you might be a lot more successful in those areas of using this in order to create your business or push your business forward. A specific attachment that you may have, for example, is being in a specific relationship with a specific type of person. You may think someone, and I'm just doing a random example, you may think someone who is 6 foot tall with blue eyes and works at a law firm is the perfect partner for you. Meanwhile, the perfect partner, which is the outcome that you are not able to see, might be someone who is 6'5" or 5'8". They have got orange hair and they are an entrepreneur, or they are working at a car repair shop, they're an engineer, just something completely different than the specific outcome that you thought you needed to have. And that may be a way better match for you. And what I like to do when I manifest is I like to think in my head, okay, I either want my outcome or better. Remain open to the fact that there are often even better opportunities and better ways that things can go than you ever thought. For example, when I was building my first channel and Google reached out to fly me out to LA to do World Tarot Day, I would have done it for free. And if anyone from Google is listening, I hope that they don't hear this, but I was literally just so honored to even be invited there. I was building my first business, Bow Life. I didn't even have Psychic CEO or any of my programs yet that are digital, where I teach you how to get to this level. Literally, they reached out to me. First of all, I couldn't even believe it, that they wanted to fly me all the way from Switzerland to LA. All right, this was a business class flight, set me up in the most amazing hotel, pick me up from the studio every single day, drive me to the studio, have amazing hair and makeup artists that do very well-known Netflix TV show people's makeup and hair and everything like that. And here is little old me sitting in my home in Switzerland, literally thinking to myself, how is this possible? This is like a dream. I would have done that whole thing for free. However, it was that outcome or better. They paid me a large amount of money to do this project, to come out and complete it. And because I was open to that possibility, so when we were talking about some of the arrangements, I did not set myself onto, oh yeah, I'm really just excited to take this opportunity and I'll be there and there's nothing else to discuss, like please just have me. No, I had the audacity and the confidence to remember my time is valuable and worthy as well. And the time that I'm spending away from my business and from my ventures, as much as this feels like a pinch me moment, okay, but it could be even better. I could even be getting paid for something that I love to do and that feels like a dream. And that's exactly what happened. So make sure that you always remain open and that you don't have an attachment, even when it seems like the attachment is you being attached to a huge opportunity. Your opportunity may be even better than you thought it was. It may completely blow your expectations altogether. Another pretty common mistake is ignoring limiting beliefs. Now, if you watched any of my earlier videos, you may think to yourself, yeah, but Vanessa, I thought that you said that I should not place any of my attention on the things that I don't desire. So my limiting beliefs are the things that I don't desire. But now you're telling me it's a mistake to ignore those. What I need to say to you is there are limiting beliefs and there are limiting beliefs. If you are someone who has the limiting belief of not being equipped enough, intelligent enough, educated enough to start your own business and be successful at it, that might also be a sign that you need a little bit more practice. And no matter how far along that you get in business, trust me, you will always be able to step things up more. There's always another book that you can read that will make you more of an expert and give more value to your clients and the people that you're serving. There's always a way you can make your content better. And there's always a way in which you can become the top 0.01% in your field. Because guess what? The top 0.01%, the difference between them and the other 99.99% is that they understand they have to continuously continue to grow and work at being that top 0.01% or whatever the number was. You get what I'm trying to say. So it is a continuous learning curve, and sometimes limiting beliefs also do signal to you that this is an area that you have to work on. So this entire manifestation process is not just a wishy-washy, spiritual, woo-woo, positive thinking, hoping and wishing, praying that things will happen for you. You also have to get so real with yourself. You also have to be so honest with yourself about the ways in which perhaps, okay, you have not been putting in the work. It's like with my other channel, or even with this channel. All right, if I do not read books, if I do not continuously work with clients, create videos, learn, expand, grow, make sure that I get outside of my comfort zone, but also earn more, get more members into my program, sell more courses so I get more feedback, so I understand precisely how this works, and I understand also how a larger business works, whether it's with employees, freelancers, whether that is doing accounting, all of these different things. If I do not continue to build, to grow, and to be so real with myself about the fact that I am not yet the best, I will not be able to build and grow and get better. So you have to be so real with yourself. Even if you've already had a certain amount of success, remember that there are times where you are also avoiding your own success. Fear of success is so real. I see it day in and day out, and I experience it at times myself as well. Like, oh, what's going to happen when I launch this program? And people are used to buying programs that are like $90 from me, memberships that are way lower tier. If I offer this program and it's not $500, but it's $5,000, I don't want people to think, oh, I'm greedy. I don't want people to think it's so over the top. And the thing that you have to do here is you have to break through that limiting belief every step of the way and remind yourself of the fact that you know the value in this. You know that you have priced it literally 10 times less than what that person is going to get out of it. If someone can add an additional $50,000 to the revenue of their business, which is not a lot, by paying you $5,000 to coach them through a problem or to solve a problem for them, then that is them actually making extreme bang for their buck by paying you $5,000, which seems like a lot, but the inherent value in your thing is $45,000 for them. $45,000, we're talking about year one. Year two, we're at $90,000. Year three, we're at $135,000. That is just given the fact that things stay the same in their business. If their business completely takes off due to what you are able to offer them, whether it's coaching, a website, a mindset shift, a funnel, some sort of product, some sort of advice that actually makes them a plethora of extra money, oh, there is nothing to overthink about your price tag. All right, so For one, yes, there are limiting beliefs where you have to learn to be so real with yourself, and perhaps you do need to continue to improve. But then there are also limiting beliefs where you have to break through them, and you have to ignore this attachment that you have to, up until this point, I only charged $500. I don't know if I can charge $5,000. Your clients, they will feel that energy. The universe, whether you believe in it or not, if someone enters a room, you feel their energy. You feel their presence. And someone might have an amazing kind of energy to you, while another person's energy might kind of make you feel like you don't trust them, like something about them is off. So for anyone who's skeptical about energy, just think about a time where you were like in a waiting room, for example, at a doctor's office, and someone entered and you immediately had a feeling. They didn't have to say anything, they didn't have to do anything out of the ordinary, but their energy spoke before their words. Because one thing about energy is that energy doesn't lie. So understanding self-limiting beliefs is extremely important for manifesting success. And then last but not least, a very common mistake is lack of gratitude and mindfulness. And I know, just a second, you guys, lack of gratitude and mindfulness. And I know a lot of you are going to be screaming at your screens right now, and you're going to be like, Vanessa, I am so grateful. What do you mean? I am the most grateful person ever. I am mindful, and I don't think I belong in this category. I don't think I'm making this mistake. And you know what? I was in the same boat as you. I felt the same way. I thought, well, I am thankful whenever something good happens. I'm thankful that I've got clothes to wear, that I've got food in my fridge, that I've got a roof over my head, that I've got my own business, beautiful clients. But there are so many times throughout the day that I caught myself actually not being that grateful. Like when a bill came through the mail that I didn't expect, because when you're building a business, there are always unexpected costs that come toward you. How do you handle that? That's something you have to learn, because when that comes through the mail, you're going to be very ungrateful, understandably so, that that happened to you. But the thing is, when you allow for that energy to enter your body and you keep it in there, it doesn't leave unless you do something about it, unless you change it into gratitude, unless you become mindful of the fact that now, every single time, every day, you're afraid of the unexpected coming in the mail, because now, guess what you've done? You have associated the unexpected with something negative, and you have to become mindful and grateful again. Being grateful for the fact that your business even makes enough money to pay taxes. Being grateful that you had this unexpected bill come in that is actually just showing, okay, you're being recognized, you're being seen, you're being taken seriously. And I know that it can be hard to make this switch, but when you do, it catapults you to new heights. When you do, it creates a different type of energy around you. And if you have been around someone who you consider to be wildly successful, you will notice how the way they deal with challenges and conflict and unexpected things that can be deemed as negative, their way of dealing with that is so completely different to someone that you may consider as unsuccessful or broke or just plain out like a negative Nancy type of person. You will realize that someone who is extremely successful has a very different way of dealing with hiccups and challenges. They have a very different way of being mindful and grateful. And they understand that, of course, if you want to be successful, actually the most complex problems will always come to you. Making that mindset shift from understanding that when you run a business, it is actually literally like chewing glass, because all of the worst and most complex problems and complaints will land on your desk, will land in your inbox, because the people under you or the people that you're employing need your feedback. They don't know how to deal with it. And that's also why you are the boss. And these are the people that you're employing, because they may not want that type of responsibility. They may not want to deal with that. And the thing is, when you become grateful for the fact that this is another thing you can solve and become good at. This is another thing that you can teach someone else to take off your plate, so you can continue to grow, become more abundant, wealthy, and successful, while basically you are learning to deal with so many hiccups that you thought in the past were an issue that took away gratitude from you. You become invincible. You become extremely powerful and strong. You become this person that has that wealthy aura and energy around you. So just try taking gratitude and mindfulness to the next level and catching yourself when you are kind of falling off in situations where you don't usually pay attention, because that is where you fall off, in these situations that come very suddenly and society deems as, well, nobody likes it. Okay, nobody likes it, but we are not going to behave like everybody would in this situation. We are behaving like the top 1%, like the top 0.1%. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of this video or audio, because I am thinking of turning this into a podcast, because a lot of you said that you 100% would love a podcast, that you want to learn about manifestation, then you are a real one. Then you are a true bestie, and I want to give you an amazing opportunity to join Psychic CEO, which is my program in which I teach you all of the most deep, detailed, and powerful manifestation formulas that I have developed, that I have created. You've got a community, you've got an app, you've got all of my masterclasses that will take you from broke to being absolutely wealthy, healthy, and glowing, that will take you from the mindset of not getting out of the hamster wheel and feeling anxious to actually living life so abundantly. And I made some examples earlier with, for example, someone paying you $5,000, which this membership is a tiny, teeny, weeny fraction of that. And if you make an extra $45,000 per year and you paid someone $5,000 for that extra 45, that's a pretty good investment. And the thing with Psychic CEO is that I have seen people make multiple 6 figures, even 7 figures, with the mindset shifts, with all of my masterclasses on publishing, on creating your own business. So literally the value that you get is insane. And why this is a membership is because some of you may need it for publishing. So you may need it for a few months. Some of you will love the energetic frequency and space in the community, and also the live calls and the private videos, the private readings that I send to you. Some of you will love this space so much that you're going to want to stay forever. So that is why I structured it in a way how it's not just a one and done deal, but that we continue to grow, we continue to network, we continue to create this community of driven, like-minded, manifesting entrepreneurs, and also a space in which you don't feel like you are the odd one out. So I will leave the link to that in the description. The first 50 people to sign up using this link will get Psychic CEO at the most incredible lifetime membership rate, which means that when you join at this membership rate, the cost will never go up. Even if in a month, in a year, in 10 years, the price of Psychic CEO profoundly increases, you will forever be within Psychic CEO at this lifetime rate from this particular video. So the first 50 people can get into Psychic CEO at this amazing deal. I can't wait to see you on the inside and to actually teach you live, to go through Q&As with you. Make sure that you join now if you're really serious about taking your manifestations and your entire lifestyle to the next level. So my beautiful soul, I truly hope that you enjoyed this, that you found it insightful, and that it provided you with the value that I intended for it to provide you with. I'm sending you so much love from Zurich, Switzerland, and I can't wait to connect with you during an upcoming session.